Hey guys, Dennis from Gadsden Freedom Outdoors here. We're at the crabbing spot out in Bayport, Florida. Mr. Bill over here. What's up, fellas? It's the drone license pilot. We're out here flying the drone, doing an aerial view of the Gulf of Mexico and this sort of Bay Area canal area where I go crabbing. So we're gonna do a crabbing video once the tides align with the schedule. Right now, I'm gonna flip it around and show you we're at high tide and the tide's still coming in. We're out here at Bayport, out in the distance, like in the other video, is Pine Island. Alright guys, stay tuned for the aerial drone footage of this area. Alright, here we are. And so right now Mr. Bill is going to have the drone and the controller sync with the satellites and GPS. He's going to bring it back down until it syncs. Alright, again, we're in Bayport, Florida here. That area right there, what you see, that's my crabbing spot. Here we go. Now you can see in the background the storm clouds are building up. It's just testing out the controls here and the camera, making sure everything's working properly before he goes off. Alright, so you can see in the background there, that is the Gulf of Mexico. Off to the right side of the screen in the distance is Pine Island Beach. Pine Island is also a private residential area. And the area that you're looking at used to be land masses. We're at high tide right now, so plus all the rain that we've been getting every single day, all these little islands and land masses are underwater. The water temperature in Bayport is around 90 degrees. So the area that you're looking out straight ahead is all part of Weeki Wachee Preserve. You got alligators, many different types of snakes, a white-tailed deer, wild boar, turkey. So it is a hunting area as well. I mean, as you can see, he's a couple hundred feet up. The water looks kind of brownish. That's because a lot of the water in canals are brackish water. And what that means is it's a mixture of fresh water and salt water. All these canals lead out into the Gulf of Mexico here. Most of the time the water is pretty clear. You can see the bottom of it. But again, once all this rain and the ingoing outgoing tides, it looks a bit murky. Now let's see who's the first one here. Coming into the screen is going to be a Florida manatee. You can actually see the manatee swimming right now. It's going to be in the bottom right corner of the screen. I just wish we would have noticed this manatee while we were flying the drone, so we could have got up and personal with it. But unfortunately, we didn't realize it until after we reviewed the footage. Now you'll see a manatee. Keep watching the bottom left hand of the screen as he pans around at 360. There it is now. So what happens, especially in the summertime, we'll get high temperatures, high 90s, heat index is over 105 up to 115. So with these high temperatures, we'll get a lot of algae. It'll kill off a lot of plant life. And as you can see, these areas here used to be small land masses, islands if you want to call them. And a lot of it, the reeds or grass are brown, more than likely dead. More than likely it will come back. You can see some of the greenery. Those are little mangroves. Now that island there, with the green on the left, that's how far that island used to come out. Now this canal on the left side is the main canal that runs out to the Gulf of Mexico. If you follow it all the way straight back, you can see where it leads right out to the Gulf of Mexico. So that manatee had to come in the opening and swim down into this area. This water is usually not that deep. 2 to 4 feet. This is high tide, so it's probably pushing that 4 to 5 mark. Now, before this water wiped out a lot of this landmass, there was canals that just ran through this. I was out in a kayak 2.5, 3 years ago, and the only way I can get actually to the center spot was through a canal, but it's pretty much all underwater. Now you can see in the background a lot of the green's still there. That's the higher lying ground. A lot more mangroves in that back area. Plus that little island with the trees in the middle. But if you look closely out into the Gulf of Mexico, you can actually see the water depth differences. A lot of that might be sandbars as well. We have a lot of those out here. But you can actually see the sandbar going out. As Mr. Bill increases the altitude of the drone, you'll be able to see it better. Now, like I said, at the Pine Island, on the right side of the screen, now this road here is kind of the main road. It wraps all the way around. On the back side of there, you can slightly see some of the homes that are back there. All these homes are on stilts or platforms. This building back here is panning through is a restaurant. Now this area here, like I said, is Weeki Wachee Preserve. So the area behind it, that's how this used to look. It was more islands than land. This is more like a marshy, boggy type. You know, it's kind of all in the water, but it's still high enough not to be completely flooded. Actually, on the left side of the road is where I seen a 6-foot gator about 2 years ago. Now, I don't go fishing here, primarily blue claw crabbing. The only fish I've seen in here is mullet, large schools of mullet, and it's usually people who smoke it. I'm not a fan of the taste, but it's also good bait, putting in a crab trap or even shark fishing. Just bear with me as Mr. Bill plays with the camera on the drone. This is my first time doing a full edit on a video and a voiceover as well. So I'm trying a new mic. Hopefully this all sounds good and comes out really good. That don't bore everybody to death. So the green bushes that are on the right side of the screen right now, that island used to come out past that. So you can just see the destructiveness of high tide, the rain, all the water. Now all the sandstone that's alongside the road, that's brand new. That's within the last year. This road used to be underwater. And where we're standing and Mr. Bill is flying that drone, that was completely under the water during high tide. That road you see in the background, that is the only road in and out of Pine Island Beach and a private residency. And you can actually see the tide is still coming in. Where we are standing, the water is just on to reach the road. I think there's another hour until high tide itself. So what will happen is it all comes in here. There's culvert pipes to the left and culvert pipes to the right in that little section. So when it's incoming tide, all the water is rushing into those tubes, filling up the opposite side of the road. And on low tide, It's reversed. So the water's coming out, going back into the Gulf of Mexico. So I like this area right here for crabbing because of that current. It's pushing the crabs along. I got my chicken out in the line, whether they're just sitting, coming out of the mud, or getting tossed around by the current. Usually have good luck in that area. You can actually see the water current right there coming from the culvert pipes. But this all used to be landmass. So when I get back out there and crabbing, we'll see how bad it is on low tide. I like to go crabbing right at the beginning of slack tide into low tide. But I just enjoy being outdoors and enjoying the scenery, the wildlife. If I catch crab, that's a bonus. So Mr. Bill's probably 20, 30 feet above the water right now. So as per FFA regulations, Federal Aviation Administration, normally the max altitude is 400 feet for a drone. And also depends how close and traffic pattern for any airlines or even small planes or helicopters that are in the area. He uses an app which tells him if he can fly or not, the weather conditions. Basically, it's like if you're sitting in a cockpit of an airplane, it gives you all the instrument readings to allow you to be able to fly the drone. Now, Mr. Bill is FFA licensed to fly this drone for recreational and for business purposes. But I believe he's going to take it up to about 400 feet here. You'll get a full view of the area. And slowly climbing in altitude here. You can actually see now in more definition the water depth out there in the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of the light color is also sandbars. But I mean, you can see how destructive the water is. You know, if you look on the left side of the screen, that's the main canal that feeds into that canal alongside the road. It just kind of wiped out everything. I mean, you can kind of see the shadows of where the landmass were, the different depths in this closer area. Now, there's the homes I was talking about. Now, that road will lead to Bayport State Park, which is a fishing pier there. Out in the distance, you see the storm clouds. You can actually see where it is raining. It's actually downpouring in some of those areas. Now, in the far distance is Spring Hill. And again, this is Weeki Wachee Preserve you're looking at right now. And you can see the culvert pipe right there, the water rushing in to the left side. Now, this tree area here, there used to be eagle nest in there. And every time I would come out, I would see 2 to 4 eagles flying around. Hopefully, one of these days that I'm out there, the eagles are still there. A lot of times, the storms will come off the Gulf and we'll get rain in the afternoon, late evenings. Mr. Bill is bringing the drone down. Get a closer, different view of the area. This area right here is a really shallow area. It's also another good spot for crabbing. A lot of times I'll walk out there and just net the crabs up. Hey everybody. A close-up view of us. You guys standing there while he flies the drone. Alright, like I said, Mr. Bill has a real estate drone business where he does commercial and residential homes, filming them. So if anybody's interested in some drone footage, get in touch with us. There's his business right there. Real estate flight view from the sky. Such a difference viewing something from the ground and getting an aerial view of stuff. It's incredible. I think I need to get myself a flat bottom boat and get out there and do some crabbing. Scenery is just like pure serenity, peaceful. This is my relaxation being out here. Get a few last looks in here before we wrap this up. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, I know it's long and boring me talking through it, please hit the like button. And also please subscribe to our channel for some more great, interesting videos. Hunting outdoors, cooking, grilling, some drone footage. Hopefully get some more hunting in there. Again, please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate each and every one of yous. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video.